Hey, what's up? Welcome to the second round. I'm just picking up where I left off yesterday, though. And yes, sometimes, I just like to talk to the robot. Okay. Difference is let you do the robot the typing. Do you let the robot do the typing? That is correct English, though. I watched Brazil yesterday. Yeah, you got me though. You got me though. I watched Brazil yesterday, and that was exciting with my Brazilian neighbors in Poland. Anyway, what did the robot say? The robot said, on mouse up. Boop. On mouse up. Where are you from, actually? Solitaire. Just call you Solitaire, okay? Because like this part of the classic whatever, right? A little bit tough. Just say all the time. On mouse up highlight. What am I even doing here? That's not even correct. Denmark. Ooh, fuck, man. Oh, Denmark. Don't you have like 60% tax or something? Wasn't Denmark even worse than Germany though? Wasn't even worse than Germany. My brother's parents-in-law moved to Denmark and learned Danish. And they have some sort of certificate or something. So I do believe that Danish and German is not too far away from each other, right? Anyways, so actually that would be interesting. How do you do the you say you have games running for a couple thousand people, and I guess it's not for free, so you charge them. And how do you do if you want to talk about it? Like, do you have some Danish construct, or do you have something else? Schwartz. Bada entire weekend. It doesn't do shit, man. Doesn't, because the button. Oh, my brain is not working at all. Text. Mod text. Yeah, 50. Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, just reinvest everything into more marketing. So yeah, this is how they get you, though. This is how they get you. Germany also. Germany is a tax haven, a tax haven. If you do it correctly, but the way to do it correctly is you replace a hamster wheel with just a bigger hamster wheel, right? So you can reinvest the money you made into different ventures like real estate or something. And now you have a bigger hamster wheel, because now you're into real estate also just to save tax, right? And then from real estate you get into stocks, and from stocks you get into, it never ends. It's just like, I don't know. It seems like I always dislike the idea that you have to do, like, I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard. I don't know how much I can talk about this here on YouTube before they ban or shadow ban me or anything, whatever. But the whole tax thing, I don't really believe in getting all my money stolen, and then you see what they do with the money. And anyways, so yeah. Yeah, good luck in Denmark with that shit, man. Did you ever consider leaving Denmark for tax? I mean, it might not be worth it depending on what you make. Might not be that much, but I've seen some clips of Danish people online. Honestly, cooked. I'm not really that artist developed in my mouth. Yeah. When does it take to get used to the split keyboard? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Let's have a look because Blazor's not working anyway. So we do the Voyager. Z is a Voyager. Z is a Voyager, and there's a mastering. See, I do this with those fingers, getting up to speed. What was it though? I think it was mastering, and it started February 1st. Started Valentine's Day last year, and I went up to 100 words per minute. June 6. I don't know if you see that. June 6. 4 months. 4 months to this. So 4 months to this. Yeah. Took a while. I would say it's going to take you to be back to normal. It's going to take you 2 or 3 weeks or something to be back to fast enough. But it feels like learning the piano. You can really feel your brain burning when you type. And I invested like 2 hours a day the first 2 or 3 weeks or something just typing on websites like keybr.com, like this. Lies gone. I must. So I would be listening to. See that fucking brain not working. Road to. And that was slow and yeah, not so accurate, but yeah, you get the idea. And how do you find it now? Could you ever go back to? Of course I could. I'm constantly switching. I have my laptop here. When I'm in a cafe or something, I just type on my laptop. When I'm at home, I also have a normal keyboard at home. I'm not typing on this one. And what is interesting to me is that practicing this keyboard does not make you illiterate to normal keyboards. Like you don't. I say that. I don't know. I thought I was in fear I would develop some sort of autism that I can only type on my keyboard in another other keyboard, but that's not the case. So this keyboard translates into other keyboards. So you are going to type better magically on normal keyboards also through practicing this. Actually, I did not expect this. It surprised me. So that's a good one. And I could still recommend, because I was suffering from severe neck and shoulder pain all day basically, and it got to a point where I was questioning maybe I should like I was thinking at some point, if this gets worse, I might even need to do something else because it was really severe pain. Some people develop this tendonitis, I think it's called, like in the fingers, and this is why a friend of mine brought me to this keyboard. I thought I was done. I tried a couple of keyboards. I had the Keychron, I think it was the K2 Pro or something. It was that thing. It was not that thing, it was another Keychron. Was it the K3? Maybe something else. Ultra Slim. This one, the K3. The K3. I really love this keyboard. I have to say. And I thought I was done, but then my friend introduced me to the Voyager, and he was forced to, because I had a tendonitis, and he got vertical even. So he had a special device. So he would type. Oopsies. He would type like this. So the thing would be plugged like this. And he would then type so, because this was the only angle he could ever type on a keyboard. He could not do, in the moment he's turning his wrist, he would get severe pain and couldn't do anything anymore. So, and then through my shoulder pain, I was considering this, and then I was buying this keyboard, and yeah. And I deliberately did this with the dots, so I have to force myself to muscle memory that shit. Which was kind of nuts though, I have to say, because in the same time, I was getting used to my T-Mox key bindings and everything. So doing everything all at once for the brain is extremely painful. And then in one moment, I think it was like 1 month in after buying this keyboard, and I had a presentation, was sharing my screen, and I thought it was like an innocent little meeting. We're talking about some architecture shit, whatever. And then they said, "Oh, Clemens, could you show what you was talking about?" And I say, "Oh fuck, man, oh fuck!" And now I have to go team like I have to switch all these windows. And then of course, and they would say, as we go through the code, "Could you go back? Could you go this? Could you go there?" And I could feel my brain exploding through all the overload, all the unusual training, I have to say. And yeah, but it was after 5 weeks. And I survived that meeting, and it was like I was cured. I think I was 5 weeks in or something. And from there on, it was really just increasing speed. But the motor units in the muscle and the brain connection, whatever, this was there after 5 weeks or so. Yeah. Yeah. What I wanted to do is I wanted to have this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything though. It doesn't do anything. Maybe I have to. Hello. There's one thing I have to say. I don't know why I did this. That was stupid. That was really a stupid thing. So now I have to even look at it. I don't know. So let me space, backspace, and I think this is enter. See, I even have to. If I think about it, I don't get it right. So I have to. I don't know why I did this. I put on my left thumb. I put enter here on my left thumb, which is unnatural because when you come from a normal keyboard, you have enter on the right hand. I don't know why I did this. That was stupid. I think this took me extra 2 weeks because and later I was thinking about why did I do this actually? That was stupid. So I would not put enter on the left thumb. I would use a different kind of binding for that if you're starting. But overall, yeah, my neck pain disappeared after a couple of days using it. It really, really helped right away with that. So for ergonomic reasons, split keyboards are good. Back to the thing. No, it's not doing anything. The brain is actually interesting. I found an old locker with the. I don't even know who's watching anymore. I'm just meowing to my microphone, anyways. So I found an old locker in my parents' garage or something that I used as I don't know, like 10 years ago or more. I didn't use it in a long time. And when I was thinking about it, I couldn't recall in my brain the number combination to open it. It was like a spinning lock, right, where you have to spin like an old-fashioned one. But when I held it in my hands, I just used my hands and performed the same movements that I always performed when I opened it, and boom, that was open. And I still cannot recall the number combination. So I don't know, the brain is just so fascinating. The whole thing is just so fascinating. I don't know. That's also why every like all these news about AI and what AI is able to. I don't know. I have very little hope that we would ever get to the point where any robot could do a fraction of what the human biology could do in some way. It was just, I don't see this happening. Over the past year, I've made the jump from the traditional IDE slop to NeoVim with help from the channel and others. I'm so glad I did. Don't think we'd go back. Yeah, once you go black, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's really like that, right? It's really like that. You get this lifestyle cringe, right? Was it then Brazilian, then there we go. Oh, it was Bilzerian. This guy is I will not tell you what I think about the guy, but he's quite famous, and he said something he couldn't go to 5-star hotels anymore. Like anything below 5-star hotel. He couldn't sleep in anything below 5-star hotel because anything below that, he's so used to the luxury that he cannot go below that anymore, just in his brain. And you're kind of fucked, right? So you have to spend like 5K a night minimum to sleep well, so to speak. It's self-trained in a sense, right? And it's a little bit like that with your tooling. Like once you have your tooling straight and 90% of what you're doing is muscle memory, you don't even think about, like, I do not think, like when I watch people, it's just so funny. Then after this, when I watch people clicking through their IDE like this, and you tell them go back, and they really go back. They really, they need a little more space, and then they run, and then they and then they go back like this, and just, everything takes like so long. It's like, I could never do this anymore. It's just, and then I get frequently, people would be almost aggressively telling me, could you please be not so fast? No. I could never go back. And this is something also you cannot get from traditional IDEs to that degree, because we discussed yesterday, Rider eats like 5 gigabytes RAM. Like IntelliJ IDE. 5 gigabytes of RAM the thing eats. So sometimes searching for a file can really take a second or two. And there's a thing it's called the 100 millisecond rule, which has been promoted to me the first time by Superhuman Male, correct? Superhuman Male, doop-de-doop-de-doo, why Superhuman Male is built for speed, applying the 100 millisecond rule. So the rule says, you stay in flow state as long as the actions you perform do not take longer than 100 milliseconds in between. Like you don't have more than 100 milliseconds in between actions. So switching windows, switching files, looking for files, everything is within 100 milliseconds when it's in your muscle memory in Vim. And when you have a big, large IDE, and look for a file, and then you are in flow state, then you look for a file, or you look for the references of a method or something, and it takes like 3-4 seconds. It just pulls you out. Correct. I feel like my train of thought is much less interrupted. Correct, this is why, 100 milliseconds. Spend much less time thinking of how to get somewhere and more actually thinking of the problem. It's funny, right? It's when you have people who are afraid of Vim, who cannot go through the discomfort of Vim, they like to tell themselves, I don't need to use Vim because I don't actually write so much code because I'm more of a thinker. Mister, next time can you notice? Can I notice? I finish my thought and then we'll go to Kaido. To Kaido. What was my fault actually? Yeah, I cannot do Vim because I'm more of a thinker, right? It's just so lazy. It's just so lazy because actually what Vim is not even about speed, right? It's not even about speed. It is about getting as much as your work as possible into muscle memory, so it's not work anymore. So you have capacity for the actual thing, meaning the thinking. So people who are going like this, and also when you use your mouse for stuff, you have so many different batteries in your body that are drained, right? You have your visuals, you're looking at the mouse like this, and then you aim and you click, and the worst thing is if you go through a file tree. So even oil NeoVim doesn't even support mouse. Right, so if you go through a file tree, can I do this right here? Tree level 1. If you click through the file tree like this, right? I mean that was a bad example because tree level. Let's say it's number 2. All right, if you search for files visually, there's so much energy wasted on that shit. It's just crazy, man. Okay, I still cannot adapt new info for .NET development. I work with huge legacy enterprises still have to debug classic framework. Is it really like that? Is that so? Is that so? There's a video coming. There's a video coming. I recorded it already. I have to edit it. It's coming. I don't know, like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I can imagine. So of course, when you go right now, I'm on solution level, right? Let me go back. This is solution level here, and I have all these sub-projects. When I want to debug multiple services at once, when I want to debug a web app, right? So one of them is ramboe Mimo API. Here's the API. If I want to debug that in NeoVim, I would first stop it. I would NeoVim, and then I go program. And maybe hit a breakpoint here, and then I would go for my stop.dap. Boom, boom, boom. And this is on project level. This is on project level. I could still then go and what do I have here? What do I have here? Well, fluent references. Let's do common. Ramboe Mimo common. Data typed. Let's use this one. I can still from here, even though I'm not with Vim in my solution level, I can put a breakpoint into libraries, into neighbored libraries, so to speak, and then debug this thing. I hope. Well, give me a second. I'll do a lematize. Get single translation is an easy one. So breakpoint here. I hope it's working. I hope it's working. It'd be funny if it's not working. Yeah, of course. I have to run the service, of course. Because it's 5,000. Duh! Okay, so there's a sneak peek into the demo. I'm sorry. Terminate the session. Terminate the session. Again. If dev web host, but I have it now. Because I didn't. I was so stupid. I was so stupid. Again. Now, translate. Translate this. Translate. Boom, boom, boom. Now I have the breakpoint here, right? Sorry for the long explanation, but shouldn't that be possible to do it like this? And now, since when you have NeoVim on project level, it's much smaller, right? So you don't have these high loading times. Okay. Does your debugger fork with? I would check. Hello, Red Eye developers. No, mouse not allowed. Someone blocked the mouse on NeoVim lore. Does the debugger work with? I can imagine though. I can imagine. Are they used for debugging? Is it not? Yes, I tried using it, but it was way too slow on a project with many dependencies and packages. Yeah, again, try it on project level, not on solution level. And the next thing is optimally, you would have for the crucial things, you would have unit tests that you then debug separately. So you go only for the. Do I have unit tests? Do I even have unit tests? I think I have one, but test. Nice, unit test one. Is it this one? Yeah, so for some things I have unit tests, and see if that shit works. I don't know. We're working. So this one is testing the calculation for when a new flash card, or when the flash card is asked for again, etc. Right? So you see, whatever. So in the moment you have these big projects, just build unit tests around it, I would say. Right? I personally hate debugging. I always hated debugging because I feel like also in Writer you have to do all the clicking to get forwards to your scenario, right? So it's a strong indicator that a unit test is missing, I would say even. Anyways, so I missed it, and then you say, is it next time? Uh-oh, oopsies. What's that? Now I hear myself, right? Okay. Is he referring to something specific? Oh man, I missed it. Next time I can notify us. Can I notify? Can I say people? Can tell people I'm live now? I mean, this is just This is logging, debugging in not scalable logging. Yeah, yeah. Okay, robot. Oh no, Rambo is using AI. Rambo is using AI. Actually, it's more like it's 90% I'm too lazy to Google something. How do I when I live stream on YouTube? Notify my subscribers. Subscribers is, I guess that's the one. Subscribers. Schedule live stream in advance. Aha. Enable notifications for the stream. YouTube Studio when creating live stream. Make sure the option to notify. Okay, there's an option to notify. Shameless vibe coder. Vibe YouTuber. Vibe tuber. Usually sends notification stream is published. Yeah, I would say so. I was thinking like if you have the little bell, then you would get notified, right, about stuff. What the fuck is this though? How can I? Where's the menu for the stream settings? There we go. Stream settings. Live chat, live reply, live leaderboard, anyone. Okay, so I have to schedule it. So the proper way would be 30 minutes in advance of schedule it, and then people get notified. And stream details, click show more, show more. Yeah, I know, man. I know. How much you bench? I don't know. Last time was 100. 102 times, but that was 2 months ago. And since then I did the dumbbells. I did the dumbbells, incline dumbbell press. Yeah, I'm actually, there's a whole different thing. Like one of the reasons, I'm not kidding though, I don't know when to work on client stuff actually. I don't know, I have no time for that. I have so many things to do. I researched the microbiome the last 3 months. I did almost nothing else but researching the microbiome and bacteria and rebuilding the gut and detoxification and stuff like that. And that is so time consuming. Yeah, it's just so crazy. I give you one example, okay? Like this is a sneak peek. What can I think I can show this. It's actually amazingly interesting. So I have different yogurts that I make, and yogurt, I found that is super good. I go with this one. So there's a bacteria strain called Elreutheri. Open this one. Elreutheri DSM 17938. This one. And this one is mentioned in a book called I think William Davis. Super good. William Davis, super good. There we go. 4-week program. Loop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo. So his interesting thing is like this guy is actually a heart surgeon. He has nothing to do with the microbiome. But he found out that over time his patients benefited from repairing their gut basically. And he found a bacterium that has multiple multiple health benefits when it comes to skin, when it comes to the collagen production, so your wrinkles go away, when it comes to overall gut health and stuff. So that is a rabbit hole so deep you cannot imagine. Anyways, you can order this bacteria online, and I even have, I think I have a buying link here somewhere. What's the, yeah, that's a tricky one. When you go here, I finish that in the next 1 or 2 minutes. I'm just like, this is what keeps me busy right now. So type in this thing, and then what you get is, okay, you get Lactobacillus reuteri, Biogaia. I think these are the ones, and you really have to be careful because like it's like with cars. So reuteri is like one family of bacteria, and there's reuteri who's good for you, and there's other reuteri that kill you, for example. You need this particular strain. And then you put this into, you make yogurt with that, and then you eat the yogurt. Because when you have one capsule, they say one capsule is, what is that? 800 million, I think that's the 800 million UC, so 800 million units of reproduction. And this is basically nothing in one capsule. So what you do is you make yogurt out of it, so you ferment it, put it in one capsule, make it small, make it powder, put it into cream and whole milk, and then you make yogurt out of it. And then you have it multiplied like much more than in one capsule, and then you eat the yogurt. And he says, for example, that a lot of women that he was treating after 1 to 3 months, like they really saw a drop in body weight. They got less, you know, the cravings you get for sugars and stuff, they went away, and all this stuff. So this is a rabbit hole I encourage everybody to explore, and this is what I'm doing right now. But I'm almost done with this research. So I have my yogurt straight. I have my Polish exam, B2 exam in 2 weeks, and this is I'm gonna fail. The question is how I'm gonna fail. So it's more like an orientation thing to see what I need to practice more. I guess it's gonna be speaking. I'm gonna fuck up speaking completely. And yeah, sometimes indeed they have listening exercises though. They have listening stuff. Like the B2 exam, when you're listening to the audios they give you, they put audios together intentionally that you cannot have the vocabulary for. So you have to make sense out of the context. Like for example, one audio was about the first woman to be the captain of a atomic aircraft carrier or stuff like that. You know, like yeah. So I'm gonna fail this one. But after the Polish thing, I think I'm gonna be back on the job market, so to speak. Anyways, where was I? So this one. Close this one. Close everything. And I'm yet to come up with proper debugging workflow, so to speak. I'm not quite happy. I'm not quite happy about the interface, if I'm honest. About like this split, for example. I think I'm going to change it. And there's also what we're using right now. What we're using right now is DAPUI. And in DAPUI, this one. Doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo. And I made a video on that as well. And there's UI, there's NVIM view or something. NeoVim DAP view. Testing view. DAP view. That's even the thing, okay. And that is, I think that's the competitor, an alternative to the MP UI thing. And it has the breakpoints and everything. It has a little other, it's a little bit different. And I'm going to try this out at some point. And that might make debugging a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, that is the downside of open source and NeoVim everything. Like you can build your own tools, but a lot of people build their own tools. Right? Yeah. Anyways, back code. I should move those cards area in. So the question is, what I want is on mouse up. Is on mouse up even an event though? Is that even an event on mouse up? Because when a mouse button is released while the cursor, okay, so on mouse up, that's correct. And on mouse up, I want to have the highlight happened. Less coding, more talking now. By the way, I really enjoy videos. Your videos, they help me a lot. Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much for the feedback. .NET guy, not dot is a not dot guy. Yeah, sometimes I'm just meowing into my microphone. And I didn't have much sleep last night, so my brain's not working anyways. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is not working also. Okay. You know what? Let's debug this thing. Why do we even get here? Cards area. Let's stop this. And let's check the program first. Do we even have? Yes. That's what 222. 222. Just checking. Cards. That's the thing. So now I'm on. That is what. Cards area. And we are going to highlight is the name of the function, method, whatever you want to call that. And now we can. Okay, I can debug this thing. Okay. There. Do we have the URL? It's not. Localhost. So that works. Come on. Come on. Connection refused. Because what? Come on. So we're getting there. Schwartz. And now I should. No, it's not getting there. It's not getting there. Do we get to any breakpoint? What is Soupman? What is Soupman? Is that something? It's translating. Subman. Yeah, welcome, Vinf. These internet names, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so we get here. That's cool, but we don't hit, as it seems. We don't hit. Is it still debugging when I close this window? It is. Okay, so I can just, okay, cool. Multilingual, right? What keyboard are you using for them? Are you enter special charge for language? I have the thing. Eurokey. The European keyboard layout by, what's the name of the guy? By Steffen Brüntjen. Sounds like Scandinavian, Norway kind of name anyways. So what this thing does, it gives you the English layout. So it's QWERTY, it gives you QWERTY. And then when you hit, I think it's Alt, I don't even know what the button is because it's all muscle memory, I don't even know. But when I hit a certain, let's do this here. When I hit, I think it's Alt GR would be the German kind of thing. So Alt GR, and then U would be the German Umlaut, German Ü, and the same thing for, we have the Umlaute in Germany, right? So U, E, O, A, like those ones. We have Umlaute. Oh, that go by Ü, like so, right? So this is how this works. You have a extra button, Alt, and then you hit whatever you need, and also you have all kinds of stuff from different languages. See that? It's for, I think it's Spanish, right? Mañana, you have this. So I use this one. Yeah. Okay, so back again. So this is working. Remove this breakpoint. You're welcome. You know, I will do this. I will do this, and just for you, if you, I use Hyperland, and I have my git ramboe configurations.files configuration. This is all public. .files hyper. This is my Hyperland configuration, where you find somewhere. Come on. There we go. This is how I configured in Hyperland. Right, so I have the user settings Lua. So now you have the Hyperland, they moved to Lua. I made a video about this, right? So you don't have the Hyperland config little fantasy language anymore that they came up with. They migrate everything to Lua. So this is how it looks right now. And you would use this thing like so. And in Arch, I believe, in Fedora, in Ubuntu, and also in all major distributions, I believe, it should be installed by default. In Windows, I think you have to install it. And on these Linux distributions, you just have to set it up correctly, or depending on what you're using, Hyperland or GNOME or whatever. And then there we go. In GNOME, it would be something like this, I believe. Do you say GNOME or GNOME? Anyways, so yeah, that was that. So why don't we hit highlight? Why don't we hit highlight? Am I even in the correct? Do I have to do something else? Do I have to do bind on mouse up or something? So now I go super lazy vibe mode. So this is my component, my button. But it's never hit. Sad emoji. I think it was bind or something. I cannot even bind value bind on blur. Is it on blur? Come on. It doesn't even give me on blur. Fuck's sake. Because I didn't build it. That is something. When you're debugging in Neovim, and I do believe you can work with some triggers or something like that. So always build that thing. Otherwise, it will take the previous DLL and not your latest changes. So that could have been already the reason. It could have been already the reason. Okay, back to that. Back to this. Yesus. Now we don't get here, and I do believe this is because the fucking blur. Terminate session. Build. Yeah, I gotta be more sophisticated with that one. I'm gonna write this down. Otherwise I never do it. I call this trigger to always build before debugging. Come on. Doesn't do anything though. No. When is that? Blazor HTML events. Blazor event handling. Dabei. Oh, how did I do this again though? Now's event arcs. On click. Go button on click and they report and it takes the event arcs and if it was like that. Button key next move screen shift key. The shift key was down. Buttons. I think here they have the screen is okay. This is the event. They have different events for that, and then the name of the event is buttons. Button number that was pressed. The buttons. Browser back, button back. There's no I'm looking for, is it? No. But the was person the mouse event was fired. What events do we have? Error event, focus, is it a focus? Might be focus event. Not really. There we go, Kylo. Yo, what's poppin' though? What's poppin'? I've seen your comment. You know, I don't know how to. Like, ChatGPT says I need to schedule the live stream, and then people will get notified or something. I don't know. I was thinking if you put, or might it be I have to schedule a thing, because no, like when you subscribe and you hit the bell, and I was thinking the moment you hit the bell, you get everything I do would just pop in your face, but apparently that's not the case. Focus doesn't include support for related target. You know what? Fuck it. I go for the mouse event arcs. What do they have here? New handling, update handling. Yeah. I go for on click. Good old Stack Overflow. Nach dem Hummen. I am not a robot. Yeah, is it possible to move out? Okay, okay. They use JavaScript then for that. Come on, set mouse up event, mouse up with you need just to handle page off page mouse up. Fuck's sake. Okay, once I was hovering the button. Yeah, that's terrible. It's terrible. We don't do the event thing now. We do not do the event thing now. We go monkey mode. To do. The other thing was mouse. Come on. Da 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 da. Strong gender skills here. Strong. Oopsies. With this. Yeah, so just hit the bell, I guess. Just the bell, I guess. Do I have any? I have much chocolate though. Ooh, and a little Twix. Because I only wanted to have the button when so on and so forth. That is why I did this originally. If higher text is not true, string is not empty, higher text, that's correct. I only get this when, So this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Yep. Okay. do this. I want to open and I want to add a new card. There is also something. What I very much appreciate is that you get the JetBrains CLI. JetBrains. JB cleanup code. The resharper command line tools, this is what you get. And they would do, amongst other things, they would do formatting for you, right? But they don't do just formatting like C# here does, for example. They go full analysis, and you cannot, there is no flag you can pass into that it's just standard in, standard out formatting. If you could use the JetBrains CLI like this tool. You could use this for your overall C# formatting. And that would be really nice, because you would then get the same, exact same formatting as your colleagues or friends get that you're working with that use resharper or write it, right? But they don't do this. They don't do this. There's no flag. So you always have, when you're formatting something, you always have to, it's going to take a while. So anyway, so now it should look good again. Now it looks nice enough again. Okay. So what do I want? What do I actually want? I want what you really, really want. I want to click that. I want to highlight something. Go back. Come on. Come on. Okay. So what I want is, I have a flashcard, and there's a front and there's a back side. And I want to highlight something and then see, okay, like this is very wrong. Let's say I want to memorize this whole thing here. This is pretty long, so I need to cut it down, like slice the elephant, right? So I want to know. I highlight this, and I want to know what this part right here matches to in the translation. So I can learn then this part and then make a flashcard out of it, right? So original plant would be Pierwotnie planowałam, and that would be correct. So actually what I want to do with the whole event thing, I wanted to do this, and then when I leave the mouse in the background, like this thing is actually running and would highlight, the next step would be highlighting this. Right, and then, yeah, so I'm going to do this another time, the whole event thing. I don't have the brain for it right now. Anyway, so now that we have this, the next step is I want to have a flashcard out of this that has the same, that goes in the same tags, for example. Do I see the tags here? No, I don't. That is, yeah, that goes into the same group as the original card, right? So this is what I want to do. So, okay. That would be the next thing then, a little button that says add card. Mod hotkey, but first in the card type, that would be the first thing, flashcard type. Flashcard type, boom, that was the one. And then we have flashcard type with normal, it's a normal flashcard. One paragraph, other two lemon, and we need a new type here that I call substring. Substring. Oop. So we call this substring. And we have a little button here with the HTTP flashcard, and we already have some method here that goes add card. There we go. And how do we use that method? We use that method, overview, multicard. We use the method here and say front, nonic, tags, correct. It's not that hard, actually. It's actually not that hard. Boop, 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 boop. Cards area. That's where we go. That would be interesting. People who watch this, how do you perceive watching this? Like, is it stressful for you, or is it? Do we even bother trying to understand what I'm doing here or something? Because that's the magic of Vim for me, for example, is that it's just, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just navigating by muscle memory, so to speak. So the front side would be the highlighted text. Is that even? That's correct. Boom. From the back side would be the matching segment. Boom. And there's no mnemonic for that. And for the tags we use cards. We have property card. Some flashcard. Flashcard. Don't we have some flashcard? And then we have the current card. Correct. Current card tags. We can just use that. Flashcard type. Type substring. Okay. Okay, I'll call it JS, so it would be that thing, okay. I don't know if that even makes sense though. So we have the add cards. Well, once we have this, strings, no ending. True. I like to work with is not true, by the way, instead of this, because I tend to overlook the exclamation mark and then mother button. Why don't I get syntax highlighting here? Add card. Back to reality. Originally planned. Get text segment. Now we get the button. Add this as a card, and now I should get this. Okay, and now when I go, I should have more. I should have 2 cards now. That looks good. Okay, it's under sentences. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. Now I can learn this extra, right? So now I have this huge thing, this huge thing that I need to get into my brain somehow, but I can slice it down actually. That is good. That makes me really happy. So my approach to language learning is like I think it's all the big mafia, like the whole language learning industry that I got to know here in Poland at least. It is all mafia. It is all designed. The whole Polish language itself is designed to keep foreigners out. It's designed like that. So they have something they call rules, but for every rule there is like 100 exceptions for one rule. So it doesn't really, when you ask any Polish guy, why do I say this and that way? And there's like, no one can explain to you. And to be fair, I can explain things to people, why we say certain things in German. It's just how you say it. It's because you don't really learn language by going through Polska krok po krok. Polska, is it Polska krok po krok? Krok po kroku, there we go. This is the default. Come on. Come on! Polski krok po kroku. Yeah, this thing. This is 20 euros or something. And this is 20 years old now. And after working with this thing for 3 years, I still couldn't order coffee. Still couldn't order coffee though. It's just so bad. And then the teachers usually work with that book, and no, this is not how you learn languages. Anyways, so we have to switch it basically. So now let's make it beautiful, I guess. Oh, I have to, of course, I have to. Cards area. We have the. Why don't I get syntax highlighting down? We have the checkboxes, show sentences, show lemmas, show paragraphs, we have also shown substrings. Boom. Do I even use that thing? Okay. Flip substrings. Okay. Yeah, that's not a good implementation though. Super dirty though. Substrings. Endpoints. Substrings. Okay. If lemmas, if sentences, if paragraphs. Substrings, cards. Okay. Should be fine though. Don't forget to change the if. Don't forget to change the if. Methy. What do you mean don't forget to change? What do you mean the if? This one, no? What if? You mean in the API? Or what? Same for substrings, you didn't change. If same for substring. Ooh. Thank you. This was the one, right? You're going to reply soon, right? This is the, you mean this one? Guys, you are just amazing. It's just amazing though. +1. +1 means one more is left, or that was good? Okay, good. Just restart everything. Run. Come on! Get myself a Fanta though. But I did forget the checkbox. Cool. So now you can work away. Okay, I can show. Why don't I have lemmas here? You might ask. Excellent question. Because like I start with this paragraph, right? And one thing my app is doing is I lemmatize. So this is how I start, some interesting thing. Or let's go, let's go interesting, right? Let's go interesting. Where's the, yeah, I clicked. You see that the concentration is down because I clicked. I go ask the robot. It doesn't even have to be correct, doesn't matter. Give me a brief paragraph summary about in English. Let's do English to see what my thing is able to do, right? Okay, cool, looks good, whatever, boom. So now I go into my app. Schwartz. I'm gonna have a new, completely new journey right here, new tags. Translate this stuff to Polish. Remove this one. Couple sentences, that's good. Translate to Polska. I didn't see scroll messages now. Well, he didn't scroll to. Didn't scroll to the end, so he doesn't see you. I do. And when there's something new, I get this little arrow right here, so I see it. Right? Come on. Better. So now I have the translation for that thing. Add this as a card, and now what I can do, I had these sentences. This is the workflow, right? So I have this is the whole paragraph, and then it cuts everything down into sentences, so I can study and learn the sentences, create these cards. Create a journey for that thing. Buck. So I can actually study that thing, and this now contains no lemmas because I don't have any. It has sentences. And it has paragraphs, right? There's the one big thing and the other, the smaller things, and that's cool. So now this one is still too long for me to study. So I want to know what strain naturally colonized the human gastrointestinal tract. Let's go for this one. Get the text segment. Wugat, gastro, and does this even, I just double check. Yeah, it does appear in the text. That's cool, that it's working. So now I have this, and I want to add this as a card. Boom, I have more cards now. I'm gonna go for substrings. These are my substrings. Now I have it here. I can study this as well. That's cool. So the last thing to show you is the lemmas. So I have a special, where is it? Here, and somewhere I get here. And what the lemmatization is doing, I have to, of course, start the worker jobs for it to work. Worker, boom, which run. Okay, cool. So it says no new jobs to process. Oh, and I want you to block my message. Okay. YouTube blocked your message. What did you text though? What did you text though? The worker's running. Go back, create a job for this. And now you see the worker finding something. And it's not gonna, it's unauthorized. It's unauthorized. God, I hate this shit. Anyways. Oh, web UI. Come on. Is it open? Open web UI. Go. Okay. And this is what this is from the API. Boom. And then we go to the app settings. Worker. Here. Start the work again. Come on. And here it says, can be vulgar and says it doesn't like it. It can't be vulgar. Naughty boy. Naughty boy. Failed. Try again. Boom, there we go. I guess. Come on. I hate that it's always, so the idea is then, I don't know why this is not working now, never mind. So usually what it does, it gets these single words, right? Like this also many people okay, I'm sorry for, spent an entire weekend relaxing at home, catching up, it looks okay. For this one, it would take the original text and cut it into, take the original words out and get the base form of the word. So you would go and study, you go through all the different layers of being able to speak sentences, so to speak, right? You go from the individual word, then you go to larger substrings, and then you go to sentences, and then eventually you're able to speak the whole thing, right? That would be the whole idea of it. And I do believe it's working. But yeah. So now let's make this more beautiful here. And I don't know what this thing was. Some assistant content input. That's why. It's using the wrong lemmatizer, I believe, though. Using the wrong lemmatizer. Why is that so? Why is that so? Worker CS. But that's crazy, though. Lemmatized paragraph. Go here. Because the app settings. Because of the app settings, though. What do we actually use? Is the question. Okay. We actually use. Come on. Let me restart. Didn't I? Why is that not here though? PWD, compose solution items. You also need to, is that true? Michael. Michael Salem. Michael Salem. Are you living in Poland too? Actually, the only reason I started Polish, I'm still here doing all this Polish stuff, is because I started it. That is the sunk cost fallacy. That is the only reason. If I had the slightest idea of how much work it would be to learn Polish, I would never start. Your mom is Polish. Your mom is Polish. Or your mama would be very happy, I believe, right? Mom would be super happy. Super happy. But again, if I knew how much work it was, I would just never started it. No, fuck off. Really not. Really not. But now that I invested so much time and so much money wasted on teachers and stuff, need to finish it somehow. And I see a little bit of progress. I see a little bit I can get around. I can do everything in baby language, and sometimes even a little bit more than baby language. And what happens all the time is that sometimes Polish people have German in school, so they know how it is. They know how it is for the other side. And none of them speaks German. None of them. The only Polish people who actually speak German are the ones who have Polish family in Germany or German family or something like that. But the other Poles, no, like who had German in school does usually not speak German. It's just too hard. They all hate it. Because you have to have a whole other muscles in your face to speak German. Then I see it now with Polish. It's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. They have all these sounds. They have like 5 different sounds for sh. They have sh and sh and sh, and all sounds the same to me. It just sounds all the same to me. And my teacher is pretending like it's just normal, Clemens. Come on, hear the difference. Come on, Clemens, you hear the difference. Oh, no, really not. I digress. I don't know why. This thing, solution items, Docker compose. I don't know why we have. Don't we have dilemma? Why don't we have this here? Work environment. That's crazy. It's not Mandarin. Yeah, the Mandarin they work with, they don't have consonants, right? They just don't have consonants. They don't have this. They don't have z. They don't have t. They don't have all of this. They do it with ha. They do it with the voice melody, so to speak. Tim Ferriss was talking about that, and he said at some point, I think I cannot say this on YouTube, that he has he wanted to say hi or something. He wanted to do a greeting in Chinese or in Mandarin, and what he actually was saying was physical abuse, something like that, right? Because he used the wrong tonality of the thing. Yeah, I don't know. But it might be the Mandarin is actually logical. And it's a certain, once you have the drift, it's fine. Might be, it's much older. Mandarin is much, much older than the Polish language. So I can imagine it's even more doable, I believe. Just for the sake, just for fun, come on. Clement, how hard is it to learn Mandarin? Like super generic normie question, right? That was cached, that thing. English Mandarin is considered one of the hardest languages to learn, but not necessarily because of grammar. Okay, tones. Chinese, when you compare it with Polish, with all its exceptions, etc. Is Mandarin more or less complex? See, grammar very difficult. Grammar easy. Pronunciation, okay, sure. Writing system, yeah, that's obvious, right? That's obvious. When it just comes to speaking, vocabulary extremely difficult. Listening difficult. Listening moderate. Fuck off. It's not true. Exceptions many. Comparative view. So It can be equally hard to learn Mandarin than it is with Polish when you come from a Western background, maybe. Polish 7 cases, Mandarin nouns don't decline. Verbs don't conjugate. There we go. Verbs don't conjugate. That means it's like 16 versions of the word less you have to learn. Right? You have to, in Polish, you have to learn, if you're really correct, you have 8 cases or something. It's like 7 plus 1. And then you have, for each case, you have a male and a female version. Pronunciation Polish wins. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so there we go. Where was I? I don't know why I don't have this right here. This translator, dynamic, dramatize free. Worker app settings. But why? Why? There we, that is why. This one is using, that is why. I mean, China for languages mostly differ by tonality, yes. The Slavic languages are hard because of conjunct, yes. Jane can be worse, Jane can be worse. Where are you from? Where are you from? Michael. So with the language learning, it depends on where you're coming from. For example, if you are Ukrainian and you grew up bilingual with Russian and Ukrainian, you had English in school, Austria though, okay, Österreich. Bist aus Wien? Kommst aus Vorarlberg. In Austria, they have also 200 dialects or something. I was working for Austrian client. I was working for the EVN, Michael, for EVN. Energieversorgung Niederösterreich. And there were colleagues I just couldn't understand. They have to. It was an extra effort that they had to bring to speak German. People could understand though. So that's a whole other story. I have a friend who's from Vorarlberg, and they have their own little language too. Yeah, but you do speak German. So how hard can it be for you, right? For example, my brother's parents-in-law, they, as I said at some point in the stream, they learned Danish. And apparently, Danish for German speakers is easy, right? And then Jibidi would say, yeah, fairly, yes. Danish is one of the easier foreign languages to learn because all is both grammar, correct, is even simpler than German. There are no cases. There are no cases. That's why. Hausfuß, see that shit, man. Yeah, Book. Come on. Frage is a whole new language, lol. Yeah, the numbers Danish are effed up though. The numbers in Danish, okay, might be. The catch, pronunciation, reading Danish is relatively easy for Germans. Understanding spoken Danish is a different story. But yeah, but no. That's why, I don't want to bash my brother's parents-in-law, but if they can do it, if they can do it, how hard can it be though, a little bit of Danish? And I talked to people who learned Finnish and Norwegian, and they said you wouldn't believe, or I wouldn't believe, how easy it is to learn those languages for us Germans. The same with what is that, with the Dutch or something. Argue that if you know a language which requires conjugation, the similar language is easy. If you know a language which requires conjugation, the similar language that you say, yeah, for Slavic people, that's where I stopped, right? The Slavic people, the Ukrainians who come to Poland, they just walk around in Poland for a couple of weeks and they speak Polish. It's like 70% of the base forms of all the words is the same. Ukrainian and Polish, it's just the same. And for example, they say, the Polish people say, I will be is ja będę, right? Ja będę. Then like this is the, it's not E, it's the E with the whatever. Like they say ja będę, and the Ukrainians say ja budu. And I have a friend who's learning Ukrainian because of his Ukrainian girlfriend, and he understands Polish. So if you have Ukrainians, you still have Ukrainians in Poland. I mentioned this a couple of times. You still have Ukrainians in Poland who live here for years. They don't speak Polish. You have to actively refuse. Because you just pick it up, right? Because it's so familiar. So I met this Ukrainian chick one time and she said, oh, I speak 5 languages. I speak Ukrainian and Russian and Polish and Czech and Slovakian. It's all the same. All the fucking same. And her English was so-so. That was so-so. And German, she had it in school, speaks no German, right? So the thing she actually had to put effort in, she doesn't speak, of course, right? Oh, I'm from Croatia. Yeah, okay. Croatia is also, right? You have similarities. I hate learning a language because I have 7 grammar cases, nominative, genitive. You have all these things, right? And that's what I'm saying. For me, it does not make sense to learn grammar. I do believe this is a trick of the Polish language learning mafia, or any traditional language learning system, to keep you inside the roller coaster, so to speak. Because you don't, I can say, I want to go grocery shopping. And I could say, excuse me, miss, I'm looking for the bananas. Can you recommend, or can you point me to a place where the bananas at, right? Like, there would be really good English, and she would understand. There would be good, perfect grammar, whatever, right? But do I need this? Or can I just say, hi, lady, me, search banana. You will understand too, right? So in order to get around, you don't need grammar for that. And on the other side, when you hear, the more you listen to stuff, the more your brain will pick up patterns, and you will understand what people say. Right? So you have two different things of language learning. You have the absorption part of language learning, and you have the expression part, right? You want to understand what people say, and maybe when you read as well, and you want to be able to express yourself. And you see this also, just because you read a book about something, or just because you read a scientific article about something, doesn't mean you're actually able to express those ideas the same way as you read in the article, right? Yeah, correct. Why the same with programming, right? Anyways, so you have to put in extra effort to be able to express the ideas you just absorbed, right? So you have to do those two things. And so you have to have different learning strategies for those two things. And you don't need grammar to be able to understand what people say, and you don't need grammar to understand why you say certain things. You just don't need that. It is a waste of time. So because what is good grammar? This one here, reading Danish is relatively easy for Germans. This is perfect grammar. This is correct, perfect grammar. Do I understand that relatively is, what is that? Is this an adjective or something? I don't even know. I don't care. But I am able to reproduce a sentence like this through sheer brute force. So for me, the way to be able to express myself in a language is to brute force, just learn phrases and substrings, hammer them into my brain, and reuse them over and over. And over time, this is how Polish people learn their language. You find people who live in this country for 30 years and they still don't speak correctly because they never learned it. They never learned correct phrases, poor fuckers. Vocabulary is more important because some words are simply multiple words smushed together. Yeah, that's the next thing, right? So you would have ciekawe, right? Ciekawe. Can I type this? I can type this. It's a normal thing. Ciekawe. Translate to English. That means I will not watch. Curious, interesting, whatever, right? Interesting. Correct. Never mind this thing. That means interesting. And then you would have something that is not interesting. You would just have nie ciekawe, right? And that means not interesting and also means dull. Okay, or picky. Come on, give me some more. Nasty, unique, uncommon. Okay, there's more to it. Anyways, right? So in Germany you have the same. Germans love to do that shit because we have that is what fucks people up when they learn German. That you have all these long words, but then when you look into it, it is really just it's a building block system, putting words together and making. It's almost a phrase. It's not even a word. Like when it's something like Leitstellen Hauptverantwortliche, Leitstellen Hauptverantwortliche. So you have the Leitstelle, right? This is like the main information point or something, and then you have the main. You have the Verantwortliche. Verantwortung is the responsibility, right? And this is the person who is responsible for the main information point. And you would pick up your brain over mass exposure over time, would pick up on these patterns, and you would then start to understand other words of the same. You would understand that there's a structure behind that without thinking about it. The word I miss from German and English is doch. The word I miss from German and English. Yeah, you need context for that. You mean when you reply, when you say, no, it is. Like something makes a statement and say, this ain't so, and you say, yes, it is, right? I mean, you mean this in this way, doch? In German, we would say doch. This is not the case, doch it is. But wait, what? But doch, haha. Yeah, but in English you would say you have a long expression for that. In English you would say, yes, it is, instead of doch, right? Let's ask the robot though. Let's ask the robot. What does Djibouti say for that? New chat. So, in German, there is a way to counter an argument with doch. What would be the English equivalent for this? And I do believe it is, yes it is, I would just say. There's no exact word by word, there's like doch. No, you didn't do it, that's not true, he's not coming. Fucking robot man. Yes I do, there we go. You don't have a car, yes I do. That would be a good one. This one right here. Du hast doch keine, you don't have a car, du hast doch kein Auto, doch. You have a car, yes I do. This is how you use it. You just block my comments again. Yeah, because you're a naughty boy, Kai. Kai. Is it Kai or Kailu? Naughty boy. I'm guessing I'm shadow banned. YouTube's shadow banning the shit out of me because of the things that I say. Also übermorgen being the day after tomorrow is in English is annoying. Yeah, day after tomorrow because there's a movie like that, right? The day after tomorrow. And then you have before yesterday. In Polish would be przedwczoraj and przejutrze. I think the day after tomorrow would be przejutrze. And again, it is just expressions. It is really just expressions. You just have to hammer it into your brain. At some point you pick it up. And if I knew this before, you can now, my strategy for the B2 exam, which I'm going to fail massively in 2 weeks, is to, I mass expose myself. I'm listening constantly to previous tests from previous years. There's the audio files. I'm listening to that all the time and picking up the grammar and then also reading through it again, along with the translation for everything. Then replay the translation, listen to it again. And now I feel like over time I actually do understand a little bit more. And then what I feel is that every Polish person has a different style of speaking. So I have 1 or 2 friends I can actually talk to. We can actually talk without Google Translate in Polish, back and forth, because they adjust it to my vocabulary, right? They use easy words. They learn what expressions I know already, and then they just reuse those expressions that they wouldn't use with Polish people, for example, but they speak like that to me. And then a new person would come in, and I understand nothing. And then I adjust to that person over some time, and then another person would come in, gone, and then nothing. Neat. Yeah, translate dynamic. Is that even the, I think that's not even the correct one. I think that is not even the correct one. As the thing, admin panel. So what we have? Mr. Sim. We have dynamic frame. And that is why. What else do we? Settings, yeah, that's why. Look at this shit. So bad. Those app settings don't make sense anyways. Settings. And then we put this into the quick fix window. The development here. Boom. Worker, correct. But now you see the API key, but I don't care. What else do we have? No, that's it though. That's it. Not even typing anything naughty, Leon. I know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to know what you're typing though. You know? Anyways. So now that we have this, go back to the worker. Come on. It might be bloated for you, and Razor support is basic for now. It might be bloated. It seems like a language, a message is missing though, right? But it might be, what might be bloated? What might be bloated? And what is missing? What is basic eraser support now? Bro, YouTube blocking me as well. Maybe they block you because of my language. Okay, moderation activity, reactions. Ethernet. Yeah, I talked about this yesterday though. I do believe easy.net, yeah, I do believe, it seems to me that easy.net is bloated. It seems to me like they want to make NeoVim so sexy for non-Vimmers, speaking people who use Visual Studio, that they're basically just trying to rebuild Visual Studio in NeoVim, which I think is kind of missing the point, right? I mean, at some point you have to, okay, NeoVim is different, and if you want to transition, you transition, right? I just send a GitHub link. You cannot send links, I believe. You can't send links. What Red Eye developers did yesterday, he sent a base, he gave me a link as a base 64 string. Right, so you can go to the website, so base 64, decode encode like this for this side right here. And then you would encode the website and send a base 64 string, right? You would do this. And if you send links, then it doesn't, that's correct. Only I can send links because I'm me. Maybe I just want to show you the lemmatization because I think it's really cool. I think you did not like the .NET plugin. Maybe YouTube didn't like it. I didn't like it though. Anyway, so now we have this. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to give me all the cards. Give me all the cards, and it goes by the tag buck. Okay, and then we have this. We take this one again, because that shit actually should work. And then I delete all of them, and then we repeat the process. Boom, delete, good, new one. Back. Okay, boom, translate to Polish. Okay, there we go, there's this thing. I'm waiting for the moment that YouTube goes and says, okay, like, is it getting the trick? And it is looking at these strings, decoding them, and then see that the decode of that thing is URL, and then say, no. Anyways, I'm gonna do the, what was a decode? This is like, this whole website is like 20 years old or something like that. Boom, there we go. GitHub, Julius, Bruce, Caveman, okay? Caveman, why use many token when few do trick? Why use many token when few do trick? What is that? Normal Claude, normal Claude, Caveman Claude. Okay. Should I help with the bug and off middleware tokens private check? Use not. Okay. Yeah, nice idea, I guess. Yeah. I do not want to get addicted to the robot. I am a strong opponent of agentic programming. Yeah, and it's the same, to me it seems like the same that happens in JavaScript, right? Like you have a technology, and people are not, there's this one thing you're not happy with, like you use that thing every day, but there's this one thing you're not happy with, and then you build a wrapper around the whole thing so it fits your needs. And then another guy comes and builds a wrapper around, takes your thing, builds a wrapper around this thing, and so on and so forth. And same we have here, I guess, right? I mean, it is. I think it's a good idea if you want to save tokens. But if you, the best way to save tokens is just not use the thing. Years ago, you showed us an NVIDIA PV replacement for NVIDIA. Just configured it fully. It's insane. Miles better than the old one. The old one is the NVIDIA PUI is the old one. And you say DAP view is better? Yeah. 304? 304 is mad. Is it smart? Different rectangle and model, new skill file. Correct. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm excited. I'm excited. Try. Even I have it here, right? Prevent pain. Just to make sure. Prevent pain task. One of the prevent pain tasks is trigger always. Look for that. Search. What is it? Results search. I even have, see that? I have from 4 days ago. I have to check this out. Cool. I write down that 304 mud says it's cool, and even you will get we get a little coding styling here. It's much better though. I don't like it too, but still it's funny that VPP do instead. Yeah, correct. Just learn the fucking tools. It's interesting. If you learn the tools, you find out. Yesterday we had this conversation. That someone said he likes that easy.net gives you what Writer gives you. That you create a file. You create a file in a certain directory, like a C# file, some sharp, some file. Some file.cs, boom. And then it would give you automatically the namespace and everything, just like it would from the ID. And I say, yeah, well, maybe. Maybe. Or I can just go, I mean, this is a bad example because it's in the root directory anyways. There is no namespace here, no? But usually what I do is, first I close everything. And then I have to delete some file and then go for the program. What I do is I go common, I take any model, for example, and if I need a new model, I would copy this. I'm an oil NeoVim, so I edit my files like I edit text with NeoVim. I would just create a file, name it some file, doesn't matter. Copy the name, open the file, go to class, place the name, and then just do my edits here or whatever, right? And then it gives me the namespace. So this is in my muscle memory. I don't think about. I can do this while I talk to you. I don't need any plugin to do that for me. Okay, the V1 is very nice. Setup is very easy, very similar to the UI setup. Okay, cool. One of the node of a Neon configs I replaced with Blink, and I can say that the difference in speed is noticeable. I heard about this, the Blink CMP. We'll check it out. Now that you say, now that people tell me to check it out, come on, this one. Check out Blink CMP. Oftentimes, what you find is that there's a new plugin, and one famous YouTuber, is making a video about that plugin. That video is performing well on YouTube. Then the other NeoVim YouTubers just copy that video basically and spam, lead to overhype of things that you don't actually need. You have this with a couple of plugins, and that's why I'm not an early adapter of anything. Because you have a little hype of something, and then it's irrelevant 2 weeks later, so why bother? Where the undo creating a wrapper language server and the whole plugin around to put it in. It's in my GitHub config. Okay, Kylo, thank you so much. Check it out, copy that shit. Base. Okay, we'll check it out. Also easy to set up, okay. The picker plugin mayhem. The picker, yeah. Yes. Yes, telescope, FCF Lua. And I made a video about FCF Lua, why I changed, migrated from telescope to FCF Lua, because there was one thing I couldn't do in telescope. Couldn't do in telescope, which is when you have CS files and you look for, what's a good example? Let's take this one. Let's take this one. So you have, this is a library that I'm using. And you see that I want to, let's say there's a new version of this library, right? And I want to update that version to 1.1 or whatever. And then I want to do this for all my CS files. And what I cannot do is with telescope, I cannot say, this is live grab. I'm looking for content, file content through all my files. But I don't want to, I'm not interested in all the files. I'm only interested in CSproj files. And now what I can do in FCF Lua is I can do Control-G. And I hope it's still working. Is it actually? Can you give me, fuck's sake, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Anyways, so with Control-G, I can then go and say, give me only CSproj files. And I cannot do this with Telescope. I can determine the file type I want to search through. And I cannot do this with Telescope, and that's why I switched, basically, right? So yeah, there's a practical reason for that. But besides that, like choose one tool and stick with it. How much do you use snippets in them? Snippets? Not so much. Not so much. I have one snippet I have is, just one program is, or one model. Let's take a model. Doop, the summary snippet. I think that's the only one even I'm using. Besides that, I only use default snippets like I don't know why it's doing that. Stop it. Like if, for example, right? If you have these, the default snippets come if and else if, and like I just use these. Yeah. Okay. Well, what was the actual thing I wanted to do? What was the actual thing? I wanted to show, correct, I wanted to show delemmatization. Finally, eventually, god damn it. So same thing, having the sentences in my little BAC journey, open, create. Do I have actually the worker? I'll just run this again, just to be sure. And now create a job, because I was thinking when a lot of people using this, like this is running AI stuff in the background, and when a lot of people using that stuff, then obviously it's going to take some time, right? So I have to schedule that shit. Create a job. Now we use lemmatized 3. It's good. It's good. Now please give me the correct shit. So now it put this job from new to in progress. It's talking to my AI in the background. It's fucking raining though. Where's it raining? Where is it raining? Oops. That looks good. That looks good. And now, I go back. Boom, boom, boom. Here are dilemmas. Here is the individual Limus lactobacillus, reuteri, well, dobrze, studied badane, nice, strain, szczep, beautiful. And now I can go and say, okay, like add all of these, and it even it picks out the stuff I already know from my vocabulary based on the cards I added before. And I created 21 cards, and now 71 cards. And now I have, this is my learning journey now. Learning this paragraph now. I can now have a structure. It's looking huge, But I know that I have 71 new words to learn to understand this. And then from there on, I have substrings. I didn't put substrings yet, okay. And I have 4 sentences. And once I struggle with these sentences, I can put it into substrings like probiotic strain, for example, text segment, boom, boom, probiotic strain, excipium, just to check, double check if that's correct, okay, add this card. And then I can go by substring, right? And then over, I don't know how long, this is how I would put this into my brain, and I would be able to express this shit. Pull this out of my ass, so to speak. Okay, so we have Brave Origin standalone or setting a Brave where you can turn off some features, so new features mode normally, or just, you know. Yeah, someone said Brave Origin too, I have to check this out. Someone pointed me to it too. And it's free for Linux, yeah. Okay. So see, I'm using AI all the time. I'm using this all the time. It's just not agentic. I think that's, I'm using it as a research helper. And I go, it was me. That was you. Yeah. I'm sorry, my brain isn't working. So it was you. Okay, thank you. What is Brave Origin? Why should I use it? Why should I pay $60 for it? For E. New paid version. It's kind of based that they give it for free for Linux, right? Kind of based. Most extra features has accumulated over the years. AI Leo and for tour mode. So first, I don't know what is the philosophy here. They create a browser, they bloat it up, they add features to the browser to make it more valuable, and then they sell you a version without all these features. Or what? You should not pay for it or only buy when you want to support Brave. Okay. I need to get it for free. One license can be crossed. Okay, probably not. Less clutter, no built-in AI, no crypto. Okay. Endeavor OS. I use Endeavor. The Endeavor OS, this one. Yeah. I installed this one with the GNOME desktop, and then I use the Jaculit Hyperland. This one. Cool Arts Hyperland install script. Boom. And this also, I don't know, like when did it last year 2 6 months. This is also has not been updated for too long, right? What do I think of CachyOS? I don't know why I would use CachyOS. No, Cachy was the, I confused this with Omarchy and CachyOS is also, CachyOS, a friend, former colleague recommended it to me, right? It's like Arch, but more performant or something, CachyOS, right? Blazingly fast based on Arch Linux. Okay, it's a performance optimized Arch Linux distribution for CPU-specific package builds. Okay. I didn't try it. I'm happy with what I have, though. Niri. I heard about Niri. I was thinking, Amit, I was actually thinking, so I'm sitting, it's like Tuesday, right? I cannot sleep. I have so many things in my fucking mind. I can't sleep. I sit on my couch like this. I have a little remote control and I watch YouTube like this. And then Tech YouTube brings up Niri. And I don't get it. We have Sway, we have Hyperland, we have the tooling already. Why do you have to force push in like another pseudo feature? I don't see the value of Niri. I don't see the value of another wrapper around something. We already have it, right? And then there's this one tiny little feature just so you buy that thing, basically. I have it so often that I really feel, because I see it in my professional life so many times, that people would completely ignore what the requirements are for something and just build stuff. They go into a little basement and lock the windows, make everything dark, and then lock themselves away for 2 weeks. and build stuff that 90% you don't. It was not in the ticket, but it's kind of cool, right? So we can now do this, and we have now extra options pattern here for the settings. And like no one was asking for this. It doesn't solve any problem, and then they expect you that you buy this shit from them just because they build it, right? It's cool. I build it. It's cool, right? And I think this is like 90% of tech YouTube, and when people build stuff, they find it cool. And now they didn't want to have their time pissed away, so people have to use it, right? I don't know. It's ego. I think most of it is just ego. I'm on NixOS with Nire and Noctaria, which is just to brag. That's cool. That's cool. If it's cool for you, if you want out of the box experience, use Omarchi. Okay. Omarchi is way much opinionated. Yeah. You know what I actually don't like about Omarchi is, again, we have it already. Like you know what I like about Jaculit? What is Jaculit? Jaculit. Where is it? This is Vimium, by the way. Is it Vimium? I think it's Vimium. It's the browser extension. Yeah, Vimium is lets you use your browser like you would use NeoVim in a very short term. Anyway, so I don't know what it is. Jaculit Arch. What I like about this guy, Jaculit, he built this script that helps you. It's a repository. It's a couple of scripts that help you install Hyperland on your Arch, and he has this for Fedora and he has this for Ubuntu, and he just makes YouTube videos like I do. So he has this thing that solves a problem and is really comfortable for people to use, and to support people using it, he has some YouTube videos. And when it comes to me, he's solving a real problem here, because installing Arch, I don't know, like I tried a couple times before and it was just too annoying, things broke, didn't build, whatever, and it just stopped. And then this script solved that thing for me. And I like that. And what I don't like about Omarchi is the attempt to make it a hype so people use it. So you have this Omarchi, who was the guy who made Omarchi? Omarchi. Omarchi, beautiful, modern, yeah, go. Like this guy. What's the name of the guy? What's the name of the guy? Sponsored by hosting. Kurva. What's the name of the guy? Jakul and Heidi. Jakul and Hyde. This is so bad. I love flat jokes, by the way. You always get me. I tried using Hyperlink with all the add-ins and Hyperlock, but said it was kept crashing. Correct. And Jaculit with his script is solving that. So everything just works when you install it. The David guy, right? The DHH David, this guy. I don't know why. Like, it's an opinionated Arch Linux, whatever. Yeah, go masturbate over it, man. Good for you. Whatever, man. Like, why do you hit DHH? Yeah. Linux Spy. Modern opinionated Linux Spy DHH. This line alone is so braggy. It is so like, you know what? I just rewritten Linux for you last weekend. This is how this sounds to me. And he was at Friedman, right? Lex Friedman. I have so many names for him. I cannot do this right now. I don't want to do this right now. I get sued. I don't have a high opinion of Lex Friedman. And he was there and he was masturbating like hours over, productivity. And what he did was, he was doing this, like the one feature of Omarchi was you can pin windows. Like this one is a pinned window. Like when I now switch my windows in Hyperland, this one sticks, right? And he was talking 5 minutes about that feature. And there's nothing he did. This is just Hyperland. And it was really comfortable when you have Teams meetings and stuff. You can just pin it here, and it's there. Boom! I switch my workplace. It is there. Boom! I switched again. He pretended like as if he has rewritten UI for us, right? And it's just not the case. And this is what I don't like about Omarchi. And again, Endeavor OS. I installed that. This thing is now running for more than a year. I didn't install it. Reinstall my operating system on Linux. Like usually before, I had every couple of months, I would set up my laptop again because I was switching from Ubuntu to Fedora, from Fedora to something else. And then I landed with Endeavor. And this works on all my machines. It's Endeavor OS with the GNOME and the Jaculit Hyperland thing. And right now I have other problems. Like it's working. I have nothing. I have no reason to do anything about it. And when I put in now effort to go to Omarchi, for example, the best possible thing I can end up with is the exact, like, I don't break anything. What I had before will still work. That's the best thing that can happen. And why change it? It works already, right? You get me? Makes sense? And also I have a video. I'm not too proud of it because the quality, the audio is shit. And it was one of my earlier videos is videos. Come on. So I have this, it's a habit now. It's a habit now. I'm so sorry, I have to really get rid of that habit. So there's Booze Fitness. I don't know if you heard of the guy. Booze Fitness, images on Instagram, images. Booze Bag Fitness. Booze Bag. And this guy is, can I do this? Does it open Instagram? It does, like this guy, and he's taking performance enhancers without training, and he's drinking all the time. And so he's taking stuff, he's looking to the mirror, and he's looking at his transformation, and looking at himself. You know, he's saying, come on, oh, the transformation is unreal and stuff like that. And since then, I don't know, I must stop this, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I have a video, about what is actually digital productivity. It's called 101, and I am on Cyprus when it doesn't have to be this way. This one, Digital Productivity 101. This is a 7-minute, 45 video, and this is all you have to know about. This one gets you up to speed. And there is nothing you can add to Hyperland that would make this better, because what you want to have, the digital productivity, you would want to have basically all you do in muscle, as much as what you do in muscle memory, right? So I know when I go to the terminal, this is terminal, this is code, so everything I do is muscle memory, and this video is about that. And there's nothing Omarchi can give you that what I have already doesn't have it, that makes you productive, right? In that way. Anyways, what do we have? He basically picked already existing things, wrapped them in an installer script, and got all the praise because he got all the praise because he created Ruby on Rails. Correct. You hate it, so you're a contributor. You know, sometimes what happens is that people would make exposure videos on YouTube about fallen stars, or like people who had a good public image once, and then there's this video from this one guy, and like, look, like this guy actually, he's really bad and he did all these bad things. And those people who make these videos, you know, there's so much work. They sit down and they make a 2-hour documentary of that person, where they dismantle that person completely with passion, right? And they are passionate because they have been fans. I do believe all these people who make these videos, they all have been fans at one point, and then they got disappointed, right? And this is their way to process this. So now I'm actually not that surprised that you say you hate it now. Because you invested in it, and maybe can it be that he didn't give you enough credit, right? I know. Think about it. I would be pissed if I, for example, if 90% of Omarchi OS came from me, and then the guy, Mr. Lex Friedman candidate right here, is bragging about it without mentioning you, without giving credit to anyone. I was like, you know, fuck that guy. To recommend using Metaverse over NixOS. I never tried NixOS. I believe I do understand the idea about NixOS. The problem is adaptability, right? Like start with getting people to use Linux. It is hard enough. Hard enough. Now get them people to start get them to Nix, and try to make them aware of the advantages that come with Nix, which are real, right? But now you have another adoption, another layer of friction, right? Try to get people to that. It's the friction. It's the marketing, so to speak. It's always the marketing, the adaptability. We had in university, we had one module which was called change management. When you have a company and you want people to, you have a new app, for example, that does a certain thing, that automates 90% of a very previously cumbersome process, And that app is really good, right? And now you have people working in the company for 10, 15 years, and they do it with email. And it is 90% of all the work is not even building the app or something. 90% of the work is to get people to fucking use the thing. Just use the thing. So you have to coach them. You have to have afternoons where you give them food and free drinks, and they have a PowerPoint presentation where you show why this is good. And like, this is change management. And it's the same with other really good ideas and really good tools, like Nix, for example. I will links by using Arch for 1 year, then NixOS for 2 years. Might be. Distro is not responsible for keyboard-oriented workflow. It's desktop environment. Correct. The distro is not responsible for that. 100% correct. Yeah, it's recommended. I understand that I want a distro which is pre-configured with keyboard focus, also prepared for a few games. But, okay. I like the philosophy behind Nix, but I feel like if I fully switch to it, I might forget a lot of Linux knowledge. Yes. It also wasn't back of my mind, right? It is quite different. It is quite different, and it might be. To be fair, it might be not too bad. It might be to lose. You never really lose it, right? It's always in the back of your brain. You just have to get into it. It's a little bit of extra 20 minutes or something, or an extra hour after a while to get back into your seat when it comes to that. But for example, what I could do now is I do believe I could go to Nix. And as long as I can, all I have to do, if I have a client, then all I have to do is produce C# code. And maybe some bicep templates for Azure, right? Or something like that. Then no one cares what I'm using. And if Nix would make my life much easier and more efficient, my digital life, then it might be even worth forgetting a little bit about Linux. For now, I have to back up my data to that. I don't know how that goes with encryption and everything. I have to back up my data to do that. I have to back up my data. I do the pre-configured keyboard focus, or what kind of data do you have to back up? Where have I even been? So yeah, I don't like the guys, too much bragging. I don't like people who brag online too much about their shit. I mean, brag about it, but give credit and be, again, it's a opinionated kind of thing. This line alone, right? This line alone by DHH is also, like, it's almost like he's talking about himself in the third person, right? God complex kind of shit, man. Okay. But mostly signing keys for commits, SI keys too. Yeah, can I show this actually? I'm thinking about that. Can I show this? Oh, I'm not sure. So I synchronize and back up my SSH keys and .NET secrets and stuff like this. I have Git. I use Git for that in a way. How deep are you into home labbing? I am knee deep. I am knee deep into home labbing actually. I have a machine at home that is called the bitch that does everything for me. That's why she's called the bitch, because she does everything. She does my data and my file backups and my entertainment and my audio and my anything AI related. And for example, like in this room, I realized, like right now it's fine because I'm on stream, but if I wanted to record something in this office, the walls are not made for that, right? So it's the walls, it's very echo-y, you have a lot of, is it called reverb? You get the idea. So what you're gonna do is, you go and you use something, you try to use something, like, podcast, is it podcast? Adobe Podcast. Podcast, come on. So Adobe Podcast. And what this is doing, you give it an audio, and then AI cuts out everything that doesn't sound nice, pushes your voice, so you sound really, really good through that stuff. But then, again, you have one more subscription for that shit, and it's just $9, right? It's just $9, and then you have Netflix just $9, and you have the Zone just $20, and you have this, like, and what I love about the bitch is, I can now go and I can build a Docker container that contains models and AI stuff that I can just push my audio into, and it would spit out a refurbished version doing exactly what this is for. But I can just host it, run it with one command on the bitch, and it's just up and running. And there I save $10 a month for that. That's what I love about that. I love home labbing. Kailu, good thing is I don't have to drive. Goodbye, Kailu. I guess I have to go now. Already 9 p.m. on my, oh, fuck's sake. Okay. Goodbye, Amit. Thank you for your participation today. Okay, Kailu said goodbye to Amit. Nice community. Which model do you use for audio enhancement? What's the name of the model? There's a couple of them. And I'm wondering, just let me check real quick. I'm going to put off the screen for a second. This one for a second. And then I check on the bitch. And I see I don't have anything that I want to show you. SH, ramboe. Docker audio is the audio container. Okay. Can I actually talk about this? I do believe so. I even have it on my, because I document everything. Of course. Okay, I have it on my Git. I can show it. I have it on my Git. Boom, back. So now we have here somewhere, we have the, I think it's in tools, ramboe audio correct, and it's going to use clear voice. The Docker, where's the Docker file? A deep filter. I use deep filter net. And then after that I use the other thing. Was it the clear voice? Clear voice. Those tools I use. First thing I do is I run the original audio through deep filter. Then I have, where is it? It's not shown, I guess. Then I run it through FFmpeg, equalizer stuff to get a little bit, the voice a little bit sharper and stuff like that, right? FFmpeg, and then after FFmpeg, I run it through clearer voice. Okay. If that helps. But the thing is not, it's private, so I have to, I see if I can make it public. I don't know what I have inside that I didn't have it, that I didn't have it public here, but yeah, deep filter, I will give you the links. Deep filter net, is this one. Deep filter net, then FFmpeg equalizer, and then yeah, it's part of something, I believe. It's part of something. And then we have clearer voice. Coming GitHub. I was spending, I think, like 2 or 3 days on that. That's why I said I don't have time for working for any clients now. I have to do this. I'm too deep, knee deep into home labbing. Anyways, clear voice. Deep filter net, FFmpeg, clearer voice, boom. And it almost takes out, it almost sounds as good as Adobe Podcast, I have to say, almost. And the only, Adobe Podcast is slightly better, but then it almost also sounds robotic. So I like even my version a little bit more, and I don't pay anything, and I can just put it on the bitch, so to speak. Correct, okay. Where was I actually? What was the last thing? So I changed this, okay. And now the last thing I did was do this. Well, it seems interesting, gotta check it out, thank you, yeah. Yeah. This one is done. Oh, okay, yeah. I showed this. Good. See, my brain is not working today. It's 5, man. It's 5. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream in 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna end the stream in 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna have myself a kebab and enjoy myself and call my mama. So if you have anything, let me know. And thank you for today's participation. Really enjoyed it. Even we have a little bit productive though. And what else? And the UI, I have to make the UI a little bit more beautiful. Okay, close it, back to JB cleanup code. And there's, by the way, it was such a journey to end this today's session with those words. It was such a journey to go from Windows and Visual Studio to Rider, still Windows with Rider, to Rider with the NeoVim plugin, or like a VimMotion plugin, to Linux, to do all of this. It was such a journey, but I have to say, it was absolutely and totally worth it. Like today my brain is not working, but when it is, it's just, you get one of the best human experiences you can have, which is playing computer games basically. Like programming feels like playing computer games. Because most of what you do is muscle memory basically. And then it's just such a bliss. And I don't know, if I didn't do this, I probably wouldn't even be a programmer anymore today. It's just, yeah. It was one way to move on, right? To move on in the mastery of the craft, I would say. Yeah, and it's just so good. It's just, you see how I jump back and forth. And once this thing is fucking done formatting, that would be one thing. That would be one dream. And people want to take that away with AI. You know, let people take that away with AI. They take it away from themselves. And I have to say one thing. I was talking to one chick. She was PM, project manager somewhere or something, and she got kicked out because she I don't know what it was, just a regular layoff kind of thing, whatever. This company was a bank, and they were actively forcing you had to use AI. You were not allowed to program unassisted, right? So they would force the developers to use a remote machine. They would log into some terminal machine or something. The virtual machine they would code in there, and then of course everything they do would be logged. When they log into the machine, when they log out, the time they worked and everything, like maximum slavery right here. And they would be forced to use AI. If they don't use AI, they kicked out 2 programmers that she knows. They said, I don't want to do this. And that is insanity to me. That is just, it's really bad. It's really bad. And I do believe those companies will die. They will die, because it's not only AI or not AI, it's just the whole spirit is poisoned in these companies, okay? Correct. Why would you put, right? That stuff my dad mess. The thing with that, right? The thing with that is, it is not going to work. You are fighting gravity. You're telling the world, I'm a peacock, you gotta let me fly. If you don't know the reference, the other guys. Greatest movie of all time. Mark Wahlberg. I am a peacock, you gotta let me fly. This is what you scream when you do shit like this. And what happens is, peacocks cannot fly, they fall on their nose. This is what happens. It is not sustainable. It is not a sustainable business strategy, right? I will take a look into Endeavor, okay? Though I don't know when I will switch to it, though. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, I don't know if I even suggested it, right? So I'm using it. I do believe there's even Jakulit shows how he installs his script on plain Arch Linux. So even Arch Linux itself, plain Arch, comes with a installer menu, CLI-based installer menu, which also works fine, I guess. And destroy the image of AI when style machine learning exists. Yeah, they call everything AI now. They call everything AI. So I built something. It was not my app. It was something else. I built something 2 years ago or something. And it was really just, it was a SQL database and it was some logic, whatever. And I showed a friend and he's like, wow, that AI is crazy. So now for the normies, anything happening on a computer is AI now. There's nothing else now. This is crazy. Well, what also nice, this is like 5 minutes ago, I finished this one, 5 minutes over. It's also nice is that programmers unlearn their craft. So you spend 3 to 5 years in a university or more to learn a craft, to learn algorithms, data structures, all of that. And instead of using a bubble sort, for example, or for whatever problem you have, or the nearest neighbor, or whatever, you know, different algorithms for a problem that you learn to use these algorithms for, what you do is you prompt it, and then you push your problem into ChatGPT or into some AI API, right? So the LLM is doing that for you, basically. This is where I see, okay, like we're getting there, man. The world is actively getting, dumbification is a real thing. That's what I see quite a lot. People don't use their craft anymore, just unlearn, toddlerizing themselves, so to speak. I hate that, Michael. I have a friend who categorized everything as AI. Yeah, everything is AI. Everything is AI. They don't know what they were, because they don't know what you're doing. Denn sie wissen nicht, was sie tun. Give me the English version. I think that's a good place to stop this. Give me the English version of Jesus German quote. Jesus quote that is in German. And sie wissen nicht, was sie tun. Okay? They don't know what they're doing, but it's not the most common. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This one. Oh fuck. Oh come on. Okay, I'm not. I'm not crashing. Father, forgive them, and this is how I end the stream, though. This is how I end the stream. Stubborn fool, lol. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Okay. My dear friends, thank you so much for participation. See you next time. I think I'm going to do this more regularly. Next time I'm going to schedule stream, so you have the, I hear the PC struggling. Yeah. Bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.